So I want to learn about Nooshin and what led you on this journey of this is what I have to do with life. These are the people I need to help.
Yeah, I don't know. It's something about me. I enjoy helping people. So for the longest time before even getting to, because I went to law school later in life, and before I went to law school, one of the things I would do while I was raising my kids was I would help the refugee community here. So in the U.S., there's 5 major cities that take in refugees, and there's nonprofits that help them resettle. However, when they get resettled by these nonprofits, they only get assistance for like 3 months, and then they're on their own. And can you imagine? You're from one country coming over here with your family. You're just given 3 months of assistance, a little bit of financial assistance, a little bit of English lessons, and potentially trying to help you find a job. But after that, you're on your own. Like, how do you figure out? Like, if someone just threw me to another country, I'd be like, no, help, So me and my friend, me and my friend were doing it together, but now I've been doing it on my own the last few years, where we would make connections with these nonprofit organizations and see where they're left off after just 3 months of what are the needs of these refugees. Let us help on the after side. So we started doing donation drives. So I do annual, biannual donation drives. I raise funds from my community of people that I know. I raise cash, and I use that to buy exactly what they need, like toiletry items, things that food stamps can't cover, heavy items that you don't even consider, like laundry detergent or bags of rice, because they don't have cars, and to go on a bus to find a store that's nearby and bring all this stuff when you have like kids and everything around you, especially for the woman who goes shopping. It's a lot. So I do that every year, and then try to help relieve some of buy the higher expensive like toiletry stuff that they can use their food stamps for other stuff. And then the last couple of years I just add on an annual coat drive, because they're coming here. When you are coming as a refugee, you have like one suitcase, you got to pack, you got to get out, you don't have all the things that you need. So for the harsh winters that are coming here, the least we can do is provide brand new coats, and they get so excited and so appreciative. Like, the kids just love having their own little coat. It's just like the simple things that make them happy.
Wow.
Yeah, so I think
that's beautiful.
So my love for helping the refugee, I think that's also got me into doing immigration law as well. So it's like an extension, and I just feel this calling that, okay, I've been blessed in life, and me being blessed is for me to give back, is to give what I'm given. And so that's just my rule. I try to teach my kids that, try to teach as much, for them to give back. We're blessed enough that it's hard, and that's a test of life, I think, like to give. It's funny. It's hard for some people to give money, but then I realized the test is if you do, even in your tightest times, you actually get tenfold back.
Right. That's so true.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that. So I'd love to go deeper with that, and I will let you share what you want to of your story. But the other thing that I really love about this podcast is a lot of my guests, even though it maybe looks like the timeline was the normal timeline that we as society put on it, if you dive in a little bit deeper, it's actually not. There's always something that maybe isn't told or isn't shared that was a speed bump along the way. No matter how early or how late in the game you feel like you got started. And so I love being able to dive into those stories and just even see how it changes, because even at the start of we feel like we have everything figured out, something comes along and says, ha 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 ha, times change. So, but what I love about that though is the point that you do have so much time, and you truly can, if what you want to do is start a business, you can do that at any time. If what you want to do is start a nonprofit, you can do that at any time. If you want to start volunteering, no, for real, you can do that at any time. Definitely. So share just a little bit about your journey to where you are today.
Yes, so my timeline, like we've talked a little bit before, is that it's very different, and I've had to come to terms with that, because I always felt like, why am I feel like this is always an uphill battle? But then you see the blessings of it and the timing of it, and I really believe God has a reasons for everything and why you're not given at that time. So before, I went to undergrad, then I actually got a lot of people don't know, I actually went and got my master's in public international affairs. And I went to work at a nonprofit at that time or work at an embassy, had that going on. And then, you meet at that time the love of your life, you get married. And it's funny because I actually got into law school right after my master's, but I put that aside temporarily thinking, to support my husband at the time for his career. And then I was like, I'll go back. Well, that didn't happen. The going back part didn't happen because once, his career started taking off, then we had kids. So here I am, and blessed, I have to say blessed. At that time, you're just so short-sighted. You don't see it. Just like that was the career I always wanted, was go to law school. And I finally got in, but I kind of missed that. I felt like I missed that opportunity. But I was blessed. I was able to stay home, raise my 2 kids. And then it was just that, not resentment, that just kind of kept chipping on me. I was like, okay, this is just not going away. I need to do something about it. 10 years later, I get both my kids, who are 6 and 4 years old, into school. And then something in me is like, just give it one last try. And I'm like thinking to myself, I'm 33 right now, 32 at that time. It's late to go to school. I've been with kids for 10 years. I haven't talked to an adult. I'm like, academically wide, I'm not on the same level. These fresh college kids are just going to go to law school. So my self-esteem was low. But something in me was just just give it one last time, just try. So I didn't tell anybody that I was studying for the LSAT, except my mom, who would notice my absence, and my then husband at the time. I would put my kids at school and just study for 3 months. I was like, you know what, this is it, let me just try. And so I did it. And then my luck unfortunately was because of my ex-husband's career was here in Atlanta, I only could apply to a few schools that offered part-time because I had kids. So I was like, okay, my chances are getting slimmer and slimmer. So there was 2 or 3 schools I could apply to. Thank God, when I got that acceptance letter, I was like, that's all I needed. I just need to know that I could do it,
so
that I could do it. I was just relieved. And I will never forget my dad. He was such a big promoter of his daughters getting education, and he was proud of me getting my master's. And usually, they think, oh, you're married off, you're taken care of. But when I told him I got to law school, I could just hear the sigh of relief that she could take care of herself now. She's good now. She's going to get this education. She can stay on her own 2 feet if she needs to, which in hindsight, yes. So I went to school, later in life. I was, 33 with 2 small kids. I'm glad I didn't know what law school entailed at the time because it was tough. It was tough managing, but every minute of my day was timed. I did it in 4 years instead of the typical 3 for the part-time program, then another year for the bar. And so I literally just graduated from law school 2016. And here I am, almost 45 years old, where people my age have been practicing for 15 years now. And so then after I passed the bar, I was still married at the time, and my husband then had a really busy schedule. And so I was kind of thrown to start my own business because I was like, one of us has to have the flexible schedule. And I've always told myself, yes, I'm going to pursue what I want to pursue, but my kids should not be neglected because I initially was there for them. I can't just change their life like that. So I started my own practice, which once again, I wish someone told me as well. But I was like, okay. I think what happened was one lawyer tried to tell me, no, you shouldn't do it. It's a lot of liability. I was like, no, I'm going to do it. So I was like, I'm going to prove them wrong.
Nice.
And so I think everyone was in shock that I went to school. They're like, why do you need to go back to school? You don't need it. You're supported, this, that. I'm like, it's not about being supported. It's for myself.
Right,
I am my own individual. I'm smart enough. I have my own aspirations and dreams. Why should it be stopped because I'm married to someone who's pursuing his own career? What about mine? I have 2 kids, especially boys. My mindset was I have 2 boys that they're going to leave. I want them to live their own life. I need something for myself. So this is establishing my foundation for later in life when my kids leave. And so a lot of people didn't think that way, or I thought, God forbid something was to happen, I need to be a provider for my children at one point, you just don't know what life brings you. So just even having that degree, whether I used it or not, at least I had something to fall back on. I had to be smart. You have to be smart in this society. So then I started the business, and it was interesting because in law school, you don't specialize in medicine. So you just learn general, and you usually learn it on the job. Well, here I am learning it completely on my own, let alone business, which they don't teach you. So I had to learn how to do marketing, accounting, the law, all of that stuff, write my own contracts. It's been an experience. I'm 5 years in now, and knock on wood, all my cases have been approved. All my clients have been happy. I've been able to be successful in all their processes. So I'm really happy about that. And I love it. I'm glad I learned the foundation up of what it takes instead of, it's in my control and I can give it my personal touch, which I think is very important. Like I want to go with someone that has a personal touch, not a, large firm where you just feel like you're a number. You don't know where your case is at. People deal with me one-on-one when they come work, hire me.